Hi, I'm Stephen Hann. I'm running for Mayor of Onkaparinga. Today I want to talk about sports funding. Now, one of the councillors wrote to me and said, look, funding down south, the council gives lots of money to sports. Now, I'd never disputed that, right? I have looked at some of the funding and some of the grants. What I'm talking about is the big projects and sports availability down south, okay? So when we build a bike drome, it goes out north. When we build a big swimming pool, it goes out north. When we do stuff, it seems to go out north. I'm going to talk about my own experience in archery. You're going to say, well, you're going back to archery again. Like archery, I'm 52 years old, and archery has never had a home in this state, in South Australia. It has homes in all the other states, okay? It has a home in the other states, okay? And I'm not even saying we should have a home, but it has a home in all the other states. So like Queensland has a centre for archery where the top athletes train. Olympians come in from around the world. The other states have this. They hold national championships at these venues. South Australia does not. Okay, so that's where we're at. The archery has saved a bundle of money. I think the number's 700,000, and it's looking for a home. It's looking for a home. It's been looking for a home for 50 years. And you're going to say, well, this is why you're running for council, and no, it's not. But anyway, it's looking for a home. At the moment, it's looking like it's going to Salisbury. So $700,000 worth of assets, and then sporting infrastructure is going to be plopped in the Salisbury Council. Like, am I dealing with... Why don't we want this in down south? Why wouldn't we want that for our kids, for tourism, for industry, for people coming into the area? Why wouldn't you want this? It doesn't cost you anything. It's free, effectively. Not costing the council. They just need a little block of land which is flat. That's it. You could even incorporate other sports. I'm going to talk about what happened in Tuggeranong. Tuggeranong, which is in Canberra. They built a multi-use facility. It cost $2.5 million. Now, the club was very small, and how they got the funding is another question. But they incorporated archery, table tennis, trampolining, bocce, and I'm going to forget some of the other sports which are incorporated into this one facility. It's amazing. So simple, and I'm going to say low cost. But it's cool. It's got indoor, outdoor, field, cloud. It's got everything. They've held the Nationals there several times. Amazing. And I fought to have one of those for years and years in Canberra as president of the association. But anyway, it's not just archery. It's any sport. It's the fact that girls, and I'm going to say girls because guys can play netball too, but I feel like it's only boys playing netball in Morphet Vale. So it's not. It's all outdoors. It's not undercover, and maybe it shouldn't be undercover. I don't know, but it appears to me when they build a netball stadium, they built it down in Adelaide. I think it's in McGill. Anyway, spent millions and millions of dollars at this beautiful stadium, and how about the people down south here? 170,000. We're playing in the rain, the sun, sunburn. Anyway, maybe they want to. I don't. Basketball used to be like this. Basketball, they used to play outdoors on bitumen, and they built indoor stadiums so people didn't have to play in the rain, so they can play at night time to get more people doing. We normally think footy, I don't even know where hockey is, and people are going to say, well, you should know where hockey is. I don't know. But I know in Canberra, there are big grounds for hockey. I want to know where there's gaps, and I want people to come to council and say, look, this is a good idea for the community. I had a talk in Flagstaff Hill with the community group in Flagstaff Hill. I was like, we have 10,000 people in Flagstaff Hill. We have 3 playgrounds, I think. And people said I was wrong, but we have 3 playgrounds. The one close to my old house, where I lived at for 15 odd years, used to be some pipes, concrete pipes, and they called it a fort. Now it's some sticks of wood in the ground. And I'm like, three, no barbecue areas to the best of my knowledge in Flagstaff Hill, and maybe there is, but not to the best of my knowledge. Where my argument was Waikerea's got 7 outdoor barbecue areas, or 7. They've got 10, I think, outdoor barbecue areas. So many outdoor playgrounds, pool, cricket, baseball. Sorry, swimming, indoor basketball. They've got all these facilities for 2,500 people. Flagstaff fills 10,000 people. Now that rolls out across the network, and it's not. And I'm going to stress again, it's not about the council throwing in lots of money. It's about community. If you're an archery club or a softball club or a hockey club, the hockey in Canberra was paid for by the hockey people. They built these stadiums, and it's amazing. It's like, I don't know, there must have been some rich business people who backed it or something, but it's fantastic. And it's like, and these organisations, sports, can generally get people together and fundraise and do stuff. Let them grow, let them build, let them work. That's what I'm about. I'm not about giving like millions of dollars like a BMX track. I'm going to hit the BMX track, I'm not meaning to. But make the community work for it. And maybe we will hit the BMX track. I live next door to BMX track in Canberra, literally 50 metres away from it. And as a group of community people, obviously one had a bulldozer and they were building this track, BMX track. It's 50 metres from my house. Council gave them a bit of land, which was an old road. They were going to push a road through there, but they ended up not putting it. So there was a cutout in soil. Anyway, the community group came in and they built a BMX track where they race, I think, twice a month. Anyway, they built it all. I don't think they'd received much funding because I used to watch funding back then because I used to get funding for archery. Not much, but I got a little bit. I used to apply for grants. Anyway, they held the nationals there at this facility. And then over 20 years or 30 years, the club just grew. Just grew. Now they've got electronic gates that go up and down, and to me it was like kind of cool watching it grow. But it went from being a community BMX track, I'm going to say this, I used to go with my son and ride the BMX with him, to being a more elite club where now they've got gates that come down and then the community is not invited to go there. And I don't know how I feel about that. I think it should be a community thing, but there's debates for it either side, and that debate should certainly be had, because it is a community facility. The club would say that, well, we spent all this money on it, so we don't want general public using it. It's for elite riders at elite level, but it gets used twice a month. Like, it was, in my view, it was much better when there were kids there every day riding a bike. That's what I liked. Kids there every day. Mums, dads, kids riding their bike on that BMX track. That was awesome. Now, one of the customers from my store builds BMX tracks. He came in and he's like, "Oh, we're looking at doing 3 in the Onkaparinga area." I'm like, "Oh, interesting." I'm like, "Is it funded by the council?" And he's like, "No, it's not. It's through another group." So, and I've known him for 8 years. I'm going to say a bit older. When I say a bit older, he's grown 8 years during the 8 years. But he was obviously young when I met him. He's probably he's probably around 30 now. And he builds his BMX tracks because he used to be into riding BMXs. And he teaches people how to ride BMXs and do jumps and stuff. He goes to school and teaches kids to jump and to do stuff. And he takes troubled kids and helps them out. It's awesome. And he's now, like, he was in my shop because he's doing 3... He's looking at three BMX tracks in the Onkaparinga area, and I was like, "That's awesome." That's the stuff I love that. So anyway, that's what it's about. So I want consultation. I want people to think, we need a home for a sport. Think Onkaparinga. We had a coach for, I probably mentioned this, for pole vault, living in Onkaparinga. He doesn't do pole vault in Onkaparinga, he does it down in the city. Should be in Onkaparinga. Everything should be in Onkaparinga. That's my solution to everything. Should be in our council. Now, I'm not saying it costs money, but maybe you incorporate with schools, maybe you incorporate into existing facilities. A lot of facilities are not used all the time, so you can have joint facilities. The proposal with the archery is to have a joint facility in Salisbury with some other sports. Mitchell Park just built a big sporting facility, all paid for by council. I'm not suggesting to pay for it by the council, but let's have consultation. Let's get stuff in Onkaparinga. That's cool. Let's get stuff so kids want to go and do stuff. I mean, I spoke to the remote control club at, I'm going to say Wilford Taylor Reserve. Like, they were like, oh, thanks for supporting us, we'll vote for you. And I was like, I just did a video on them saying, look, this is a cool facility. Get kids out of the house, get mums and dads down here racing remote control cars. That was it. That's all I said. It's not that we're going to give you any money. I was like, get people down there. Get people doing stuff. Get them out of the computers. Get them out of home. Get them doing stuff. I don't care what you do, whether it's lawn bowls, bocce, table tennis, trampolining, hockey, badminton. Geez, I haven't heard badminton for a while. But there's a whole pile of sports. The running clubs. The clubs. That's what we want. I'm going to bring in 170,000 people. That's what I want. Anyway, I'm Stephen Hann. I'm running for mayor. I just want people to say, look, this is what we want. And I know some people have been banging their heads for years and years and years with this, but I reckon I can make it happen. That's what I'm saying. I've always made things happen, so what I've done. I think we can do it again. I can't see how we can get roadblocks through council. I don't understand anyone having objections, only to funding, and I think we can talk about those things. So anyway, I'm Stephen Hann, I'm running for mayor. Appreciate your vote. Thanks for watching.